Magnum photographer Steve McCurry, the man behind the iconic Afghan girl photograph, has always been one of my most important photography influences. I'd look at his books and imagine what it must be like to travel the world in search of images. I don't know how I did it, but I created a similar lifestyle for myself. Recently, I was able to sit down with Steve and ask him the questions I've always had about his work. I hope you enjoy. Would you ever print an iPhone photograph?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll always have pictures on a piece of paper in a book, having an object to hold and to look, put it on, come back to is important. And it's a real thing. You don't need to plug it into the wall to see it.
When I was just in South Africa, there were young kids. They didn't have a lot of money, but they had cell phones or they had a camera, and they had this kind of group called the Smarties, and they were, kids that sewed their own clothes and created their kind of own look. It seemed like just as important of an element of sewing their own clothes and their style was documenting that. For them to be able to share their idea, for the whole world seemed really important to them, even though it was something they were never going to print. In the past, people who were poor were not able to tell their own story. And now it seems that they can tell their own story through their own photographs.
I think it's great that people all over the world are photographing their friends and family. During the hurricane here in New York, people were making news pictures off their front porch, and those pictures ended up on news organizations. I think it's great. Cameras are more affordable, and they're more tech savvy. They all have cell phones. I mean, everybody has a cell phone now.
Yeah.
You have to go really deep into part of the world where people don't have cell phones. I mean, it's amazing. In Afghanistan, the areas that have cell phone coverage, you just can't imagine that you're in some far-flung mountainous area and you can... I was in Ethiopia this past summer, and the most remote part of the area I was at had cell phone coverage. Unbelievable. You have so many people that are used to either being shot, shooting each other. Do you find that they're able to be more comfortable around you? They want to have more control over their image? Has it changed in 20 years or 30 years? I think people are much more conscious. Who are you and what's this picture going to be for? And I want to be paid, or I know what this picture is going to look like. And they say, I don't want to be portrayed that way in the press or in whatever. So the people are becoming much more savvy as far as that image, how their picture is going to be perceived.
Is there any photograph that got away? An image that you think, the exposure wasn't right, I missed the moment. Is there any photograph that you think back and think, I just missed that one?
It's mostly failure walking around taking pictures. I mean, some of the pictures are okay, but you're looking for some special spark. I think you just have to, again, look at the percentage, look at the big picture, realize that at the end of the day or end of the week, you will have some pictures which you like. You have to be positive. If you're a surgeon and you lose a patient on the operating table, you have to come back the next day refreshed and renewed and with a positive attitude, ready for the next day. And you can't let that dwell on past mistakes or unfortunate situations or whatever.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Sure.
Pleasure.
Thank you.